if you're my friend, it's gonna be hard for me to see that you're going through something unless you tell me. So I think especially like for females, when we talk to our guy friends or boyfriends, whatever the case may be, to just constantly remember that they go through stuff, and that we also have to try to show you guys that we're there for you guys, for you guys to be able to talk to us as well. So
what's good, man?
Shit, nigga, what's going on?
I'm going through it.
I think it's kind of made me a little cold-hearted in a sense, because I feel like just dealing with like my nephews and nieces, I just feel like, I went through this, and this, and like I didn't have nobody to complain to and stuff like that, and I just dealt with it. So now I kind of feel like I just expect people to deal with it, but then again, I'm just being another example of like a traditional African parent, you know what I'm saying, just because I went through this and I dealt with it, and I didn't even deal with it the right way, you know what I'm saying, like growing up when I used to punch holes through with my door all the time, like, you know what I'm saying, like, cause that was the only thing I knew what to do, cause there was nobody to talk to and stuff, and nobody to express myself to, and it's just like, I guess I'm continuing the cycle of
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Lizz Heam. Today I will be doing Black Boys Don't Cry. I have a couple of my friends here with me, and they just gonna go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hey, what's up? My name is Malum, Prince Mal. You find me on Instagram, Prince Malum, M-A-L-L-A-M. I'm Ghanaian.
Ghana in the house.
You heard?
my name's Tim.
Good guys, my name's Robert. Yeah.
Alright, so we just gonna go ahead.
My name's Tim.
No, it's not normal. I don't think it's okay. It's not considered okay because it would be considered a sign of weakness if you talk about an African community. What do you guys think?
I think the answer is no, that we definitely don't speak about it. There's this very strong statement in being an African man within your household, within the community, that you need to be that staple. You need to be strong no matter what. So any sign of weakness is just, not taking it. So I think that it's something that's not spoken about, something that we do need to speak about, but who's going to start the conversation?
No, absolutely not. Like the way it's set up, like you kind of just have to be that strong figure that shows no weakness at all times. And the second you show that weakness, you're going to get scolded and reprimanded for showing any type of weakness. Because as a man, you're supposed to be the staple head and the figure that gets everything done.
Alright. You mentioned that somebody has to start it or something like that. How would you, like what exactly do you mean by that? And like who should start it? Yeah.
I mean, I feel like everything always boils down to education. If you knew better, you do better. And some people just don't know any better. They don't have information on it. So one place definitely that you could start the conversation is within schools. Having a conversation, teaching, having mental health classes, making sure those people that are qualified to deal with mental health are starting with the younger generation, so that as they grow older, they can give that knowledge to the people that come after them. Sometimes certain people are stuck in their ways, and we just need a new route to handle things.
I agree. I think pretty much it might sound bad, but like we just have to wait for the older generation to die out. It sounds bad. It sounds bad, but I'm being honest, because you know the phrase you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
It's a fact.
That's a common phrase, and it holds true in African household community, especially with male figures. No matter what you can say to them, their mind will not change. It's pretty much because of their upbringing back home. So I stand by what I said.
I mean, for me, I think it starts with us, to be honest. I feel like as you get older, like when you're a kid, your parents don't respect your shit. Whatever opinion you have, you just keep it to yourself, because you'll just get scolded for even talking back. But as you get older, you start hitting 18, 19, hit college years, you can actually start to express yourself a little more. And I think just having conversations with your parents, especially if you have younger siblings, and just telling them like the things that you went through growing up that you didn't like, and so your little brother and sister don't have to go through the same thing.
Oh no,
and now since you're older and you have more clout, your parents probably listen to you more, so you could just explain shit and just have like an open conversation, open dialogue that you definitely couldn't have when you was younger and growing up.
Cool. Now let me ask you this: since you went to college, how often have you expressed yourself to your parents?
I express myself all the time.
And then how did they take it?
I mean, they listen to me.
They listen to
It's
you.
a conversation, which is like a stepping point because growing up, there was no conversation.
I mean, you have to understand, you were still a kid at the time.
That's a fact. But just because I'm a kid doesn't mean I don't feel.
Nah, I agree with
You
that.
know what I'm saying? But like, it's just unfortunate in the African community. Like when you're a kid, like everything just gets swept under the rug. Your opinions, your feelings. You know, people just kick you to the side because you got no clout.
But I feel like a lot of that comes from a place of fear from our parents. Them wanting us to be better than they were. Them wanting us to be in a better predicament. So a lot of the control that comes with it, I feel, comes from fear and making sure that we stay on the right path. Because there are some things that my parents have said that I should have listened, but I did not. So I'm going to pay the consequences for it later. But, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like they are trying. It's just that we need new tactics.
I don't know. I can't agree with that in the sense of recently I've even tried talking to my pops about certain stuff. He's hard headed. He's hard headed. So yeah, you can have a conversation, but will it change their minds? Do you think it will change their minds even having this conversation?
But I feel like it doesn't come down to one conversation. It's multiple conversations.
No, I know. Yeah, I understand.
You gotta wear them down. Like I feel like I've been saying certain things my entire life. My mom probably feels the same way. She's been telling me the same thing my entire life, and to a certain point, it's gonna come down to, okay, finally I am hearing it. There is a time and there is a place for everything. So certain things you're not gonna hear depending on the time and depending on the place. So eventually, there is a possibility they may hear you. There's a possibility that they're stuck in their ways, which is the problem.
The thing is, like, you know what? I'm agree with that because they probably do hear you, but because of male pride and ego, they just not gonna say it. They don't want to give you the acknowledgement of like, yo, my son was right, but you know what? I'm not gonna tell him to his face and give him that acknowledgement.
I think like for me personally, like it's affected me in the sense of like I just like keep a lot of things in. You know what I'm saying? Because growing up, like you weren't allowed to talk back, you weren't allowed to express yourself, so you just got used to like feeling all this ill will for certain situations or certain people that you just can't even express. So then that just becomes like your consistent way of dealing with stuff. It's just keeping things in, you know. And then growing up, I didn't really talk to too many people about what was really going on, like at home and stuff like that. So then as you get older, it's just the same thing, keeping all those emotions compressed, you know what I'm saying? So for me personally, it's just like dealing with trauma, dealing with situations by really not dealing with them at all. And just kind of just going through the motions, just going about my day regularly.
Well, for me, I feel like I was the oldest in my family. So everyone that came after me, it was my duty to look after them. You know, like even though I was a child, I was an older brother. So my responsibility were your brothers and sisters, you need to take care of them. The stuff that you're going through, you need to make sure that you handle it because you need to be there for them also. Was it fair? I don't know. It wasn't fair. Probably wasn't fair. At the end of the day, like I did understand, like I do have a responsibility to my family. I do have a responsibility to my brothers and sisters. And I feel like me coming into my manhood, I had to essentially become a pillar for my family, and I felt that came in part to the way I was raised in the values household.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty much the same as Malin because I'm the oldest out of four. So I always had to make sure my younger siblings were good, regardless of how I'm feeling, whatever I was dealing with, or whatever they saw me dealing with at the crib. Pretty much, as I always say, the oldest goes through the most, so the younger ones can like
third parent.
Yeah, you're basically the third parent to make sure like, yo, whatever you go through, they don't go through it. So
Nah, you got this, big dog.
Nah, go ahead.
Nah, big dogs first, man.
Alright, thank you. Damn, I want to say half and half. You pretty much take the good things that your parents instilled in you, and you knew the things that you didn't like while growing up. So we pay attention to that while you're raising your child and make sure that doesn't happen. It's gonna be hard because honestly, yo, I don't know what it is to raise a kid. Honestly, I'm lying. I helped raise my younger siblings. Get out of here.
Talk your shit, man.
Claim it.
Yeah.
Claim it.
Yeah. So you know, I just teach them the good, the bad. Yeah. I mean, no. You're pretty much your parents. You took what they instilled in you. So.
For me, I'm gonna try to create a relationship that I kind of got with my parents, like as I got older, like after, like in college. but have that relationship like at a younger age where like my kids feel like it's like an open door policy where you could literally have a discussion with me, you know what I'm saying, and talk to me. And just cause like growing up I was scared of my father. Like, I was terrified, like even to ask like simple things like, oh, can I go to the park, or like can I watch TV? Like you shouldn't be terrified to talk to your dad about little things like that.
Going to the park is not simple.
It should be simple.
A lot of stuff happens at the park, man.
But like still, like I shouldn't be.
Hey, your mom's gonna be like, yo, I had a dream.
You know what I'm saying? But I shouldn't be scared to ask for something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
and then also like, I don't even think like it's really necessary to really put hands on your children. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel like our parents been through some shit, so the way they raise us is trying to gain control, especially being in a new country. Like I'm first generation, so my parents coming here is like, I want to keep you within your culture, I want to keep you within your religion, I want to keep you within a bunch of things, but
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but you gotta also remember, I feel like they're competing with everything else that's happening around you. You feel me? And there are strong influences around you. You know, so it's like, I want you to stay like this, but I'm over here arguing with this, and I need to yell a little bit louder for you to hear me. Not excusing what they did. Mom, you should never yell at me. So the world is talking, the world is trying to bring you in, and your parents are also trying to like keep you centered around what they want. So sometimes they gotta talk they gotta scream a little bit louder to like drown out every other noise. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it is effective. Like it's not the first. I don't think it should be the first option, but it is an option, and it I feel it does work sometimes.
You gotta
go ahead. I gave it to you last time.
Big dog.
Go ahead, bro.
Out of respect.
I'm good, yo.
Alright, I mean, like 100%, like I could talk like, cause growing up, I didn't really have many friends who were like African. I had some African friends, but I wasn't that close with a bunch of African friends, so I was like with a bunch of people who wouldn't understand. Yeah, so I didn't have a lot of people around me who was going through the same things who could relate to what I was going through, you know what I'm saying? So that's also why I kept a lot of shit in, because who the fuck am I going to talk to? Am I going to talk to Tom, Dick, and Harry? But now, like, I got a bunch of friends that, like, also just comes with, like, I guess growth and stuff like that, that, like, if something goes on, like, I have a bunch of people I could call and talk to, which helps.
I agree with Timmy in the sense of, as you grow older, you tend to find people that are similar to you and going through the same problems, and that you could all talk about your issues together. And yeah, like, he's one of my people, Mal's one of my people that I always talk to. I mean, like, actually I always felt like, even though if nobody was able to give me answers, just talking it out always helped me, and like get some thoughts going, and like how to deal with it and shit. So
alright. Malam niya sa naseo become.
Also, I like to take long walks. I forgot. Get my head out, clear my head.
Gotta take them long walk, get that car.
Yeah, them long walks help. Along the water, I'm from Staten Island. Them long walks across the water, it work.
A little walkity walk.
But I was low key lucky. Growing up, like everyone that came from Ghana, that was from my family, pretty much either migrated to Staten Island or the Bronx. So I had cousins that were my age, that were 3 days older than me, a month younger than me. Like people around my age that I could talk to was growing up. Going to college, that's when I really like branched out and, you know, met people like all of you, and then was able to like talk and figure out my emotions and people that see a different perspective. So that was dope.
Nah, I mean for me now though, like if there's like a situation where I feel like wronged by like my father or something like that, or an issue, I'm telling him straight up, because I don't got time to know. Like I'm gonna come to the source and we're gonna figure it out and deal with it. Because I will admit I got a lot bolder as I got older. But also it's just that like, fam, I'm grown now. Like I gotta express myself. I can't be out here not saying stuff and being like, no, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. And then granted, sometimes it don't work out for me and I don't get what I want, or it's not really understood. But at least I know I did my part and I put it out there. So I don't always get the result that I want, but at least. I would say be courageous and try to actually talk to your parents about shit. And like, I know it's just scary, or I just tell myself, just do what you do and just wait till you get older and shit will work out. Just thug it out, young.
And move out the crib.
Thug it out, youngin'. But nah, honestly, like I would just be like, yo, honestly, like if you feel a certain way or you're dealing with shit, like literally just tell your pops and your parents and just I don't know, but the thing is, like,
No,
I be
it's
thinking
hard,
about
bro.
myself now. But that I'm not me back then. I wasn't like this at all, so I can't even like think. I don't know.
All I know I can say to tell my younger self is like, yo, just try to talk to somebody. At least find, like, I was saying, as I grew older, I was able to find somebody to talk to about stuff like this. Probably I should start looking earlier when I was younger to find somebody to talk to. Even if it was like a cousin or uncle that I trusted like that. That probably won't tell me to spill my tea with to my parents, you know, but
that's a fact. Yeah. That's very important.
Yeah, your family, son.
I tell my younger self, you're stronger than you think. Make sure that you're seeking the help that you need. Fear can be a motivator. You just gotta use it the right way and stop fucking up.
You sound like a Hallmark card, man. Like, yo, that's
I would tell my younger self, stop fucking up. Make better choices. You feel me? But in terms of my mental health, just making sure that you're seeking help that you need. You're talking to people that you need to talk to.
Gotta always tell us
to be able to talk to you, like,
yeah, that's what I mean.
Like right now, it's like even still to this day, I found it hard to like reach out. Sometimes, like,
I feel like it's always going to be hard. It's definitely always going to be hard, but it's also like a process. So like one day at a time, you build up to it. So obviously you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be able to spill your guts to everybody you see. That's not how it works.
Oh yeah,
so definitely you find those few ones you can, and then move on from there. So
that's why
thank you for watching my channel.
You know,
I got ya.
I don't have a YouTube channel, but I'm alive.
Yo, boy, send me your follow me
You're
everywhere.
Prince Malum.
IG humble underscore.
Gang, we out here.
Don't forget to subscribe,
I can't do this.
like, comment, and subscribe.
I can't do this.
All right.
Wake up.